Okay, we're still working on getting it started. Still haven't got it started yet. Now it'll go set a little over under 50, but it'll go to 62, and it does start, but run for a couple of seconds, then it stops. Okay, so the fuel pressure is staying up. It's not totally dropping out. Okay, but it does run for a few seconds. So what we check, okay, this thing runs through an oil pressure sensor. Okay. So we check the oil pressure sensor in the back. There's an oil pressure sensor back behind the distributor. I need a mirror to see it. It only has one wire going to it. So that tells me if it had 3 wires going to it, it'd be a different story. It only has 1 wire going to it, so it's probably not that oil pressure sensor. And the fuel gauge is staying up after it starts to crank. So it's not like the oil pressure sensor is not allowing the fuel to go in. So we kind of eliminated that problem, but we still haven't got it started. So next we're going to, we still haven't changed the wires and plugs, and I'm going to do a compression check while we're waiting around to figure out. It seems to be pointing to the spider injection system, which is under the intake manifold. But y'all have to pull the intake manifold off, which is not no great big deal. That's what it looked like it's pushing, going to us. So our next deal is going to be to change the spark plugs, do a compression check, and we're going to change the wires. Okay, we're fixing to go. We're fixing to change the wires and the plugs. Okay, now what we're going to do is, while we got this thing plugged out, I got a compression gauge. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to check my compression while we got the plug out. Okay, and all we're going to need, I got a spark plug wrench. Okay, it's 5/8. It's a snap-on ratchet with a swivel head. It works pretty good for this. Okay, we have a feeler gauge. Okay, this is actually another feeler gauge. Okay, the plug is set at 60 thousandths. Alright. Oh yeah, we're going to use this little tool here, like I've showed before in another video, to pull the wires. It keeps from messing up your wires. A long pair of needle nose will work very well. Okay, back we're talking about the firing order. Okay. I'm sure the firing order is good, but it's not going to hurt to double check it. The firing order is 18436572. Okay, and this is the injector. I mean the cap. And as you can see, it's triplet cap. As you can see, it turns this way. Okay. It turns clockwise. All right, and these are your cylinders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're going to check all that while we're in there. All right, we're going to double check we take the spark plugs. They're supposed to be preset, but you can't go without. Okay, we got 8 plugs. These look like some pretty good plugs. Okay. And Bosch. Okay. And we got a set of wires. We're going to put that on there. Now chances are this is not going to fix it. It's not going to get it to start. But we're doing a tune-up on it anyway because we want to do this anyway. So we're eliminating if there's any problems with the wires. Okay, set of wires. Drill last wires. Okay, of course you got 9 wires. You got 8 cylinders, and you got one going to the coil. And what I like to do, I like to lay my wires out. Okay, I'll just take them and I'll put all the boots together. Okay, bear with me. I'll put all the boots together and get the length of the wires. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the wires one at a time. Okay. Now these are all the wires. Alright. Now this is for the coil. So we're taking that out of there. Alright, now we're just going to put all the boots together. And this will show us the length of our wires. Okay, you see we've got 2 long ones, 2 necks, 2 necks, and 2 necks. Okay, so of course the long ones, the strip is in the back of the engine. So the long ones are going to go, this is actually the back of the engine over here, number 1 and number 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull number 1, check the compression, of course put a plug in, okay, and change the wire. And these wires go through harnesses, so we're going to have to unsnap the harnesses. And to keep them mixing everything up, like I said, we're going to do one at a time. And I like to start with my 2 longest wires, okay. All right, like I said before, this is cylinder 1 and 2. Then your next wire could be 3 and 4, then 5 and 6, and 7 and 8. So that's how we're going to do it. We're fixing to go out there and we're going to do the plugs, wires, compression check. Okay, and then you got to have compression. I'm sure we do it. The engine does run when I pull gas down the throttle body. Okay. And what I just started doing, I mixed a gallon in the other video. Actually, this video, I mixed a gallon of gasoline with a 25-gallon mixture of fuel injector cleaner. And I'm putting just a little bit of that. Now this truck sat over 10 years, so I'm putting a little of that down the throttle body and letting it just start. When it starts and it stops. And when it stops, I'm just going to let it soak. I'm going to do that for a few days. Okay, while we diagnose and everything. My scan tool did come in. Okay. And I'm gonna scan. I'm gonna plug it in and scan it. Now this scanner is I'll pay a little over $100 for it. And it uses your iPhone or your Android, and to get the codes, I'm gonna look at the codes and go over the codes and see if that'll help any. But everything's pointing towards the spider injector so far. We're going to eliminate everything else, and like I said, all this stuff needs to be. I want to do anyway. All this is going to be done anyway. If I get the engine running now or later, it's all going to be done anyway, so I'm just going to do it now. Eliminate every little bitty thing. So that's where we are. We can do points. I'm not points. This car don't have points. I'm old school. Plugs. I'm doing plugs and wires. And compression check. Okay. We can do the compression check. And we want 150 to 175. Alright, compression. I took a little piece of blue tape and I got it at 150. If I'm above that, we have a healthy engine. As long as we're above 150, we should be good to go. So like I said, I'll put a little piece of tape to show me where the 150 is. 150 to 175. Let me add something. Explain something about the pressure switch, the oil pressure switch. Okay, the reason I said it only has one wire, we don't have to worry about it, because one wire would just show oil pressure. Okay, if it's got 3 wires going to it, that means that it's probably hooked to the injectors. In other words, you have to have oil pressure for the injectors to work. But we only have one wire, so we don't have to worry about it. That's just for oil pressure. I just want to explain that a little bit more. So anyway, we eliminated that. So. Another thing I want to add that I'm trying, okay, I'm putting gas down in the throttle body. Okay, I took 1 gallon of gas and I mixed this injection cleaner. Okay, this treats 25 gallons. Supposed to clean the injectors. I put it in 1 gallon. Then I pour it down the throttle body. Pour down the throttle body and I just crank it till it stops. And I'm letting it soak. Maybe that'll do something. Maybe we won't have to pull the intake manifold and do the spider injection thing. Oh, we're just gonna try that. Like I said, whether it works or not, I doubt it, but we're trying every little thing we can. All right. Okay, on second thought, putting this injector cleaner, so I mix it with 1 gallon. It's supposed to be for 20 gallons, I think. 25 gallons. Treats up to 25 gallons. Okay, pouring that in the throttle body is going to bypass the injectors. My idea was to try to clean the injectors. It's going to go straight into the engine and start the engine. So it's actually bypassing the injectors. So I was trying to get some of this stuff into my injectors. Okay. Now you notice when I try to start it, it runs just a little while. Okay, so it's burning fuel. The fuel is coming from the fuel tank. Okay, and I have probably 8 gallons in the fuel tank, maybe. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this 1 gallon can that's full of this injector cleaner, put it into the fuel tank. Okay. And it's going to take a long time for it to get to the injectors, for me trying to start it, because it just runs a little bit and stops. But now you got the lines going all the way back to the fuel tank. You got the fuel filter that's full of fuel, and all that has to be taken out of there so I can get the good mixture that I have in the tank of this. Okay, like I said, this is 25 gallons, so, and I might have maybe 10 gallons. So it'd be a strong mixture, a little bit strong mixture of injector cleaner. So if you follow what I'm saying, I need to turn on the fuel pump and pump the fuel through the lines, through the filter, so I can get fresh fuel with my injector cleaner going into the injectors. If you follow what I'm saying. So two different ways I'm going to try this. First I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this gallon of strong injector cleaner and pour that into the tank. All right, then I'm going to try. You see, I have the fuel gauge connected to the port. Okay, this is a little bleeder right here. This bleeds fuel. Okay, once you got your pressure up, you press that and it'll bleed it off. So I'm thinking if I can take this close, okay, and put this little bitty hose, okay, into my gallon can and just turn on the key, it should pump the fuel through the lines from the tank, through the fuel filter and to the fuel rail here. Okay, and that should get the gas that's in the tank that's treated with the injector cleaner should get it up to the fuel rail. Okay, now I'm going to try that first. If that don't work, okay, I have my siphon hose here. Okay, I'm going to disconnect the fuel gauge and I'm going to put the siphon hose right there on the fuel rail. Okay, and then I'm going to remove the little orifice that's in the that's on the fuel rail on the end of this where this hose is connected. I'll take that orifice out, then I'll turn the pump on, and it's going to be a bigger line to get more fuel through. But let's try that first. I'm going to go ahead and try it with being the gauge is already hooked up. I'm going to try it like that. So I'm going to put this gallon of strong injector cleaner into the tank. Okay, we're putting this injector cleaner into the tank. Should be a pretty strong mixture. Okay. We're just trying every little thing we can. We can try to clean those injectors. Oh. Alright. I want to say, I need to study that scan tool, how it's going to work. Now, I'm going to look the scan tool up, but I got to do a little research on it. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, okay, it's over now. Okay, I thought the hose had broke off. All right. But anyway, what I'm saying, what I want to do is, I'm going to, probably going to do the points and plugs right now. Not points and plugs. I'll get it. There's no points. There's no points in this thing. Okay, now I got my little can. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do the compression check. Okay, we'll do a compression check, change the plugs and the wires. Okay. Meanwhile, then I'm gonna study the scan tool, and I'm gonna make another video probably on the scan tool. All right, how we're gonna operate that thing. So meanwhile, we're gonna see if we can put some black tape. That's some black tape right here. I'm gonna put this around this little valve to open it up, and I'm gonna put this. Can. Okay, I'm gonna put the end of this hose in there. It's not gonna be a lot of gas. It might take a little while. Okay, put that in there. Okay, and I'm gonna put some tape, like I said, around this, and I'm just gonna turn the key on. It should pump fuel, clean out the lines, and put it into this little tank. Okay, let's try that. Okay, we got the key turned on, so this should be pumping fuel. Not really. Let's try moving this down. Put it here on the ground. See if it does anything. Yeah. Not much. Not much. Might take a little while. But it's definitely, okay, doing a little better now to put it down in the tank. Okay. Like I said, what we're trying to do is just clean out those. Make sure this is totally compressed. It's not, wasn't compressed all the way. Hard to get it with the tank. Should be putting out more when I hold that piece. Let me wrap a little more tape around that thing and see what we got. Okay, we wrapped it a little, tape a little tighter around this little release valve. So like I said, the key's on, fuel pump's running. Let's see what we got. Okay. It's not a whole bunch. You can see it's not putting out a whole lot. I just want to get enough to get a little bit in this tank. I just want to kind of get the fuel that's in the line and the fuel filter, get it to get the fresh gas out of the lines. And we'll have a little injector cleaner. So then when I try to start it, the little bit it runs should get that strong mixture of injector cleaner down into the injectors. Okay. Now hopefully when I run the scan tool is going to tell me if we got bad injectors or you know, it's going to tell us what the problem is, why it's not starting. That's what we're hoping for. So, okay. It's going. We'll let it run a little while. Let's see what we end up with. Meanwhile, while I'm waiting to scan tool, while I'm studying the scan tool, what I want to do is like I said, take a compression check. This is not going to probably help with the starting, but it's all stuff I need to do. Okay, because we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get this thing running, and then I won't have to go back and change the wires and the plugs and do all that stuff because it'll all be done. Okay, because I have a lot of other work to do to this truck. Like I said, it's been sitting for so long. I'm gonna run it. I got a long driveway. I'm gonna run it up and down my driveway. See how long my driveway is way back here? Run them down my driveway just to get the brakes loose. Okay, before trying to go down the road with it. And once we get it started, of course. And we're probably going to end up we're going to have to do a brake job on it. I'm sure. Of course, we're going to go with new tires. We're going to take each thing at it one step at a time. So let's look at changing those plugs and wires and doing a compression check and see what we have there. Okay, our little rig up been going for a little while, and we got about 1/4 of a gallon. So that should be enough to clean out the lines, get the good fuel, the fresh fuel, I'm gonna say, out of the lines and the filter and to the fuel rail. So now when we try to start it, the little bit it runs, the little 30-second it runs, it'll have this fuel treatment. It'll have a little fuel treatment, a strong fuel treatment in the on the injectors. Maybe that'll help. Like I said, when I hook up the scan tool, hopefully the scan tool will tell us if the injectors, anything about the injectors or whatever the problem is, why this thing's not starting. Okay. So next we're going to look at, like I said before, compression check, wires, plugs. Just soon do all that now. So, all right, that's where we're at. Let me add this with the key off. Okay, I turned the key off. Okay, this thing is still siphoning. Okay. Now I'm almost half a tank, half a gallon. See right here? You can tell. So what's happening? This is lower than the fuel tank, and all it's doing is just siphoning. Okay. And the fuel pressure gauge is holding the orifice down. Right, and allowing it to siphon. So not much is going to get through here because of the orifice, okay? But like I said, the fuel pump's off. Anyway, I just thought I'd add that.